Swim and Dive win their home opener, and men's golf plays spectacular on the green. All of this and more coming up on this week's special episode of the Penguin Rundown. Good morning, everyone. Welcome into this week's Halloween episode of the Penguin Rundown. I'm your host, Katie Rogers-Videla. As we all know, Halloween is coming up this weekend, so the crew and I decided to have a little fun and dress up and get into the holiday spirit. Later on, we catch up with some YSU students and ask them some Halloween trivia, and then we'll find out the top 5 favorite candies of trick-or-treaters this year, so stay tuned, if you dare. But let's get back into some YSU sports as the football team returned from their second bye week on the road in Terre Haute, Indiana, where the men would lose late to the Indiana State Sycamores 28-17. The day for YSU started off on the wrong foot, however, as redshirt freshman quarterback Demetric Crenshaw suffered an injury early in the first quarter as he only attempted 3 passes. Senior quarterback Joe Craycraft came in relief and was 13 of 31 for 172 yards with a touchdown and 4 interceptions. Senior Jaleel McLaughlin carried the load rushing as he had 138 yards and a touchdown on 17 carries. McLaughlin, who recently just became the 34th player in NCAA history with at least 6,000 career rushing yards, averaged 8.1 yards per carry in this game. McLaughlin is also currently the active leader in the NCAA in rushing attempts, yards, and touchdowns from his time at Notre Dame College and here at Youngstown State University. On the defensive side of things, there was not much to be happy about as the defense struggled. Their front had issues applying pressure, recording no sacks with only 1 quarterback hit. With 402 yards of total offense allowed, head coach Doug Phillips is surely going to be challenging the defensive game plan next week and prepare for the number 6 ranked South Dakota State Jackrabbits this Saturday on a spooky Halloween Eve at STARBURST Stadium. You can catch this game on ESPN Plus or on 570 WKBN. And now we're going to head on to the men's tennis team, where they had a strong performance at the ITA Midwest Regionals held at the Michigan State University Indoor Tennis Facility. Highlighting the event for the men was a pair of wins by senior Eric Grahn and freshman Harry Fausas in the doubles main draw. The duo upset number 12 doubles from Wisconsin, but would fall short to Michigan in the round of 16. The team will conclude their fall campaign this upcoming weekend, Friday the 29th through Halloween Sunday at the Cleveland State Invitational. And now we're going to send it over to our very own Richie Giuliano in the Watts to recap the men's and women's golf performances. Richie?
Thanks, guys. Well, welcome into the Watts, where here behind me is the putting green, where the men's and women's golf team will compete during their winter season. As for the fall season, the women competed at the Dayton Intercollegiate, where they unfortunately tied for 10th place, although they did have a bright spot with Danae Regula, the junior, who has now paced the Penguins in all 4 of their events this fall. Regula finished for 15th, and she will look to guide the Penguins as they finish up their fall slate at the Palmetto Intercollegiate in South Carolina. As for the men's golf team, last week, man, did they put on a show in Dayton as they finished tied for 2nd. Kevin Schur finished tied for 4th in the event. Youngstown State did finish their fall slate this weekend as they took on a couple of teams in the Towson Invitational. Youngstown State tied for 3rd with 5 Penguins finishing in the top 25. So for Youngstown State men's golf, they are complete. The women's golf team finishes up their fall slate today. I'm Richie Giuliano reporting for Penguin Rundown, live here from the Watts, and it's time to send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Richie. As I mentioned earlier, the swimming and diving teams continue to show their excellence, earning wins over the weekend at both Cleveland State on Friday the 22nd and the following day at home against Gannon. At Cleveland State, the women picked up the win over the Vikings with a final team score of 167-121. Seniors Tess Weiskopf and Kayla Rassman helped the effort as they both took first place in the 3-meter dive and 1-meter dive. Other wins from the event came from junior Olivia Wilcox, who won the 100-yard backstroke and 100-yard butterfly, senior Mallory Pitstick, who earned first in the 100 and 200-yard breaststroke, and freshman Haley Clark, who picked up her first career win in the 1,000-yard freestyle. After Friday's festivities, the Penguins returned to the Beagley Auditorium, where both the men's and women's teams picked up wins over Gannon. The men would win 215-79, while the women would end on top 174-122. For the men's, sophomore Cody Thill took first in both the 3-meter and 1-meter dives. Freshman Alesko Radenovic continued his dominance, winning the 100-yard and 200-yard backstroke, and freshman David Nicario won the 100-yard and 200-yard breaststroke. For more insight on the swim and dive team, let's send it over to Kyle Wills and John Ostapowicz at the roundtable.
Thanks, Katie. Welcome into the roundtable. Fresh off my shift on the sandy shores of the beach, I'm Kyle Wills, alongside my centaur friend from the mythical woods, John Ostapowicz. And John, we're going to be tiptoeing into the deep end, taking a deeper dive into the swim and dive team. And first, I want to talk about the men's team. At the Akron Zips Classic, in their first event this year, the underclassmen have really performed well. First off being freshman Aleska Radenovic, who broke the 100-yard butterfly and the 100-yard backstroke records for the Penguins. So in his first event, that's pretty impressive. And another freshman that played well was Dominic Bono, who won the 400 IM, and then sophomores Gavin Webb, Cody Thill, and Soma Albert all played well, as Webb won the 1650 freestyle by 15 seconds. Thill won all two of his diving events, and Albert won the 200 backstroke. And then they continued that success going into this past weekend at home against Gannon, as Radenovic won both the 100 and 200-yard backstroke, and Thill once again winning both of his diving events. In terms of the women's team, who has impressed you so far?
Right. So this past weekend, as you said, they versed Gannon, the women's team, and they were able to win that match. So the key players in that match was Tess Weiskopf, as she was able to not only win the 1-meter and the 3-meter, she boasted a score of 256.20 and 243.60. Now also, Aubrey Whitaker also placed in the 50 free with a time of 24.80. So those were people who stood out to me, and they made a very big impact in that game against Gannon. So what you said about freshmen, going back to that, Gavin Webb led the way in this past match with a time of 9:14.02 in the 1,000 free and placed second. He also placed second in the 500 free with a time of 4:49.73. So he was able to make such a huge impact in this game to give the Penguins the win against Gannon.
Yeah, you mentioned Webb finishing second in the 1,000-yard free, and that helped propel YSU to the victory in that event, as YSU finished first, second, and third in that event. So that was impressive for Webb to once again lead the charge for the Penguins. And also, the team took first in the 200-yard free relay with a time of 1 minute and 24 seconds. So it was definitely a great way for the Penguins to end the weekend.
Right, definitely. Now they're looking forward to this Saturday, October 30th, as they take on Valparaiso and Green Bay at 2 p.m. at the Valparaiso Aquatic Center. Now what they have to do, both women's and men's team, to win this game is they have to come out and they have to win, quickly, and they have to get better times. And the freshmen and the underclassmen, they have to step up in order for them to get enough points to win this game against these two teams. Now, that's most important.
Yeah, you mentioned how the upperclassmen need to continue to step up, and so far this year they have really impressed the team, as they have led the charge for both events so far. And like John said, they will be back in action on October 30th, this Saturday, at the Valparaiso Aquatic Center when they take on Valparaiso and Green Bay. Let's send it back to you, Katie.
Thanks, Kyle and John. Now let's kick it into soccer, where sophomore goalkeeper Brooklyn Kirkpatrick had an impressive performance with 8 saves at the Michael A. Carroll Stadium on Saturday morning. But IUPUI would score in the 85th minute to lift the Jaguars to a 1-0 victory over the Penguins. With the loss, the women are now 2-4-4 in Horizon League play and have fallen to 9th place in league standings. The team will play at Robert Morris University in the regular season finale this afternoon at 2 p.m. Now on to the courts, where the volleyball team took another road trip this past weekend to take on Cleveland State and Oakland. In the match on Saturday against Cleveland State, YSU hit .245 as a team, with Paula Gershing adding 14 kills and Amanda Lebiota contributing 12 kills on 17 attempts, while adding an impressive .588 attack percentage. The Penguins hit well, but would unfortunately drop the match 3-1 to the Vikings on Saturday. However, on Sunday, versus the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, the Penguins came out strong, winning the first 2 of 3 sets. Amanda Lebiota continued to swing well, pacing the team offensively with 16 kills and a .317 attack percentage. YSU libero Kaylin Jones recorded 31 digs, which is the 3rd most ever by a Penguin in a rally scoring match. Despite winning the first 2 out of 3 sets, the Penguins would drop a close one in the 5th set. The team will stay on the road this upcoming weekend to take on IUPUI and Purdue Fort Wayne. You can catch both of these games on ESPN Plus or follow the live stats at ysusports.com. As promised, we caught up with the students on campus to ask some spooky and terrifying Halloween questions. Cameron Stubbs has more.
Thanks, Katie. I'm outside here at Kilcawley, where I got to catch up with fellow YSU students, and we talked about the nitty-gritty, the dirty, the spooky, and scary about Halloween. Let's take a look. All right, I am here with
Donald Van Horn,
Maddie Fessler,
Catherine, Callie,
Laura.
and I have some Halloween questions for you guys. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, starting off, what do you plan on being for Halloween this year?
I was gonna be a Playboy bunny, and then I switched it to a schoolgirl, so that's mine. Probably a devil.
And then I was going to be an angel.
I have a Venom mask, and I'm trying to find my Venom hoodie, so probably Venom or horror slasher villain.
I think my friends and I are going as clowns.
Scary. What is your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever been?
Ooh, I think 7th grade I was like a broken doll. That was fun.
Back in middle school, I was like going through a phase where I was like Michael Myers, and I got a good laugh out of people, so. When I was younger, I think I dressed up as Dorothy like 3 times for the past Halloween, so probably that one.
I think one year I dressed up as Hannah Montana.
I think my all-time is Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean.
What is your favorite and least favorite Halloween candy?
Okay, my favorite, it's Reese's. I love Reese's. And my least favorite, oh boy, I think my least favorite, dark chocolate, I guess.
Dark chocolate honestly isn't that good.
Ooh, the favorite's got to be a Kit Kat. Least favorite, either Now or Laters or Lemon Heads.
Now, do you break the Kit Kat or do you just eat it whole?
I break it. I'm not a psychopath.
Candy corn, hands down, least favorite. I mean, I like Twix, like a Twix or something. Reese cup as my favorite, and candy corn as my least favorite.
I definitely don't like candy corn, but I also don't like, Almond Joys?
Yeah.
But I like Twix.
I kind of like candy corn, but it's okay.
Sorry.
What's your favorite Halloween movie?
I don't watch Halloween movies. Maybe like Hocus Pocus. Is that a movie? Yes. Is that a movie? Hocus Pocus.
Does The Conjuring count? I like The Conjuring.
Oh, my favorite Halloween movie. This counts like horror movies, right? Nightmare on Elm Street 3, without a doubt.
It's not technically Halloween, but it is kind of spooky. Green Mile.
Are you a pumpkin spice girl or no pumpkin spice?
Oh, pumpkin spice.
Full pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice.
I hate anything that has to do with pumpkin. No.
No pumpkin spice guy.
What's scarier, Michael Myers or a blackboard assignment due at 11:59 p.m.?
A blackboard assignment due at 11:59 p.m. without a doubt. I can take Michael Myers head on. I'll beat him down.
Ooh, blackboard if you don't know about it.
The blackboard assignment. That's a dead assignment.
Definitely black.
Right. All right, take a wild guess. How many pounds of candy corn are produced each year?
At least 25, like minimum.
Pounds?
Yeah. 40.
50.
1,000 pounds.
It's got to be over 1,000. Probably 1,200.
35 million pounds.
You know what? Not far.
You're right. All right, and that's all the questions I have for you, Donald. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, girls, and back to you guys in the studio.
Favorite candies are for this Halloween. To find out the results, we are going to send it over to Caleb Ellison and the head of the Headless Horseman.
Thank you very much. Now we have a new segment here on the Penguin Rundown today. We're going through a top 5 of the 2021 Halloween candies this season just to get us into that spooky spirit mood. Now coming in at number 5 on the list, we have hot tamales. Now this one's pretty surprising to me. Growing up, I didn't eat a lot of hot tamales. That could just be because I'm a picky eater. You know, that spice, it just really wasn't for me. But hey, if that's what the kids are into nowadays and that's what's being given out at doors for trick-or-treating, the more the merrier, why not? After hot tamales, coming in at number 4, we have STARBURST. Now, personally, I love STARBURST a lot. I'm really happy, glad to see that they made it onto this list. But my one problem with STARBURST is that as good as they are, in my opinion, they all taste the same. No matter the color, no matter what flavor the wrapper says, all STARBURST taste the same. But they're good, so they definitely deserve their spot on this list. Coming in at number 3 now, we have M&M's. Now, here's some controversies. Some people call chocolate a candy, but other people call it a delicacy. So it's really how you want to define it. But for the purposes of this list, chocolate is a candy. It's great to see M&M's here. I definitely enjoy it. You can just have handfuls, a whole bowl. But before you know it, you've just eaten 2,000 calories. So definitely M&M's, great spot at number 3. And then coming in at number 2 on the list, we have their sour counterparts. We have Skittles. Now, this is a great reference here because personally, I do prefer Skittles over M&M's. I prefer sour over sweet, stuff like that. But definitely Skittles, just a great snack to have. They come in so many different packages and sizes. And plus, have you seen those NFL commercials with Richard Sherman just eating all the Skittles? It's definitely so much entertainment right there. Then after Skittles, coming in at number 1, we have Reese's Cups. Now, this is definitely a really high praise, and Reese's Cups has definitely deserved the number 1 spot here. They can be eaten year-round, not just Halloween. They have those Christmas commercials, Easter, probably Flag Day too. It's always a good time to eat Reese's Cups, and you know, personally for me, it's not like I eat them very often, but when I do, I take my bite in, it's just, wow, I should have more Reese's Cups. But definitely number 1 at Reese's Cups here on the top 5 2021 Halloween candies. Now it's time to send it back to Katie Rogers-Vidala.
Thanks, Caleb. That will just about do it for this week's episode of the Penguin Rundown. For news, highlights, and more, be sure to check out YSUsports.com and follow us on both of our social medias on Instagram and Twitter, and those are both at Penguin Rundown 1. I'm your host, Katie Rogers-Vidala, saying happy Halloween to Penguin Nation, and we will see you all next week.